need to have some kind of powerful goal to work towards. If we don't have a goal, the mind works in specifics. So if we don't have something powerful to focus on, and this can be absolutely any goal, it can be either getting into a certain size dress, or it can be an occasion, or something coming up, but we need to have a specific to work towards. And then the second thing is we need to find out what it is, the emotion as to why you're eating certain foods, or there's a certain pattern with food. And then once we've found that out, then we can move forward so much faster and really help you.
And so you would work with me on how to set a goal or what my goal should be and get specific on that, right?
Yeah, well, once you've got a goal, that's the very first starting point, because if we're all going to set out on a race, we need to know where the finish line is. We need to know what we're aiming for. So we have a really powerful goal in mind. But with the weight loss, we don't want to, it's no diet or anything like that. I do believe that if you go on a diet, you can only come off a diet. So it's all about changing your eating habits in total.
Okay, so the first thing would be to set a goal, maybe a weight loss goal, and then change your eating habit, a plan to change your eating habits.
Yes, well, first of all, we're going to look at the trigger. So we want to find the emotion. So what emotion is it that we're trying to feed with the food? Because it all comes down to our emotions at a subconscious level. So there's loads of different techniques that we can use to find that out. So it is just finding, sometimes with people it's a trigger. Something can just, the people will say to me, you know, I've lost weight before and I felt absolutely fantastic. And then something happened and they can't quite put their finger on just what it was. Something happened and then that's it. Just completely blown it and back to square one. So if we can find that trigger, find what it is, and then we can completely transform it and just move the person forward and really help them make the changes in their life that they need to make.
So how do you go about determining what that trigger is? Because I did have that a couple of times, really in drastic ways. I lost 170 pounds, and one day I just kind of changed and I started fighting. I was doing great and I was feeling awesome and everything was going great. I couldn't even tell you the benefits. They were so vast. Yeah. And then all of a sudden one day it was over and I started like pacing back and forth. How do I get back? And I tried everything. I asked for help from everybody. How would you have helped me back then?
Yeah. Well, with the hypnotherapy session, what we can do, because it all works on a subconscious level. I mentioned earlier we have two parts of the mind. So we have the conscious and we have the subconscious. Now, without going into too much technical detail, in the subconscious part of the mind, this is where all our habits, our memories, and our emotions are stored. So by actually accessing the subconscious mind through hypnosis in a nice light trance state, we can actually talk to the subconscious and get you to access things, or maybe access a trigger that on a conscious level you wouldn't really be aware of. But using the subconscious mind, we can access, and the amount of things that will come up that you just weren't aware of is amazing. And once you can confront that and we can find alternatives to this trigger, then you can just move forward. It's so powerful.
Wow. So you have to first find the trigger, and then you deal with that in a more logical manner?
Yeah. Well, what we can do, we'll look at certain things. So are there certain times of the day that you tend to eat certain foods? For example, is it when you've had a bad day at work, or you're feeling quite emotional or stressed out, feeling quite lonely? For some people, it's even when they're feeling quite happy and excited. So we just need to establish that as well, look at different patterns. And then using hypnotherapy on the subconscious level, we can actually go back to the last time that you sabotaged. So when you lost all your weight, the last time that you just sabotaged it all and you went on that downward spiral, we can see what was it that caused it. We can go back to that specific time and just find what that actual trigger was. Because there will be a trigger. If you've lost weight and you were doing really well and you're feeling fantastic, then there will definitely have been triggers. Something would have happened on a subconscious level, and we just need to find that. Yeah, it's fascinating stuff.